He said, no, you have to make love again. Just think that, you are making it for the first time. They have a very nice build-up to Oscars. I would definitely celebrate and shout and, enjoy when it happens. Film Federation, what they are doing, I don't know. What kind of people are there? Do they have anything to do with films? I think I would have been happy if they would have chosen Rowdy Rathore for that. At least, West would have got kind of entertainment, Naach Gana to dekhte at least. Ek entertainment to hota hai. Hi, I'm Irrfan. You're watching BollywoodHungama.com.
We have with us internationally acclaimed actor Irrfan Khan with us. A huge pleasure to have you on Bollywood Hungama, Irrfan.
Thank you. Thank you.
Irrfan's next film, Life of Pi, is releasing shortly on November 23rd. We saw some footage from the movie. I think it looks incredible. This is your biggest film by all means, in terms of scale as well?
Scale, yes, it is. Budget-wise and the experience-wise and the challenge-wise, most toughest role I've ever faced.
So I was sitting in this coffee house, and this old man at the table next to me struck up a conversation. He said you had an amazing story.
Let's see then, where to begin?
If you look at the budget of the film, I think Spider-Man was the closest which came to such a huge budget. And I've been part of films which were not so big budgeted film, but they earned a lot. Like Slumdog Millionaire was a $15 million film. And it grossed more than $150 million, more than that. But this itself is a more than $100 million film. And more than the budget, it's the experience, it's the challenge of the subject, which is immense, which was really, really immense.
I was born and raised in one of the most beautiful places on earth. It was a time filled with wonder that I'll always remember.
I consider film, film comes to me not as an abstract or, non-living thing. For me, film is a living thing which interacts with you in a particular way. Every film has its own nature and its own destiny as well, and it behaves in a particular way. I can give you lots of examples about that.
Right.
And this is the most challenging part in a way that, this role was refusing to come to me. Come to me in the sense, when you get a part, you do your homework. Sometimes some parts doesn't require homework at all. They just emerge from the first reading and they are there. Certain parts require homework. You do your homework, you go to the sets, and as you start shooting, things starts emerging. The role starts taking shape. But this role was refusing to come to me. Because of the subject matter, because of the conditions, because of the demands which what Ang put across me. He wanted me to speak in an accent which is French, Canadian, Indian accent. Now I did all my research, how to find that accent, and I wasn't experienced enough, in a way that this part needed a kind of method how to go about it. I needed a voice coach for me for this role, and I didn't realize that I could demand that, and it never happened. But luckily we shot the film, and after that the studio wanted different actor for the part, writer's part. So I had to shoot literally everything again. So we reshot it. So it was a kind of blessing in disguise,
But when my family chose to move our zoo halfway around the world, that is when my greatest journey began.
Although I was shattered when Ang called me and he said, "Okay, we have to shoot a lot of stuff again." So I asked him, "What are the portions you want to reshoot?" He said, "Everything." I said, "Everything?" He said, "Yes, everything." And I was shattered because there is a very, very emotional scene which happens at the end of the film, and I was really, really careful about it. And when for the first time we shot that scene, everybody in the unit was crying, and they were mesmerized by what happened on the sets that day, and I was not sure whether I would be able to recreate it again. So I told Ang, I said, I don't know whether I'll be able to do that. It's like you are asking a guy who has just made love and you are asking him to make again, right? Then and there. He said, no, you have to make love again. just think that, you are making it for the first time. But it was for the good of,
Absolutely.
That's why I say, every film behaves in a particular way.
Sure.
And it's an immense challenge for me.
Many people, especially like say in India, they're possessive about you as well, because you are one of the very few actors who has really made Indians and Indian cinema proud by working in some really big projects. Now the question will be that a lot of hype was surrounding around Spider-Man, but maybe when we went to see the film, and I think you've said in the interviews as well that your role was massively chopped off. In that context, how pivotal is your role in terms of your screen time? I believe there are 3 segments to the film, and you are there, I think, in the whole of third part of Life of Pi.
No, the film starts with me and ends
in terms of as a narrator.
No, it starts with me and it ends with me. I'm a very, very important part in the film. It will appear a very, very important part, and I don't think after watching the film you will have these kind of queries where you won't be able to ask these questions, because the film will take you over. You will not be left with these kind of questions or these kind of concerns. The film overwhelms you. It just doesn't leave you with these kind of questions.
Absolutely. Like in Bollywood, we have this entire ball game that in the posters में नाम आना चाहिए, photo आना चाहिए. कितना prominent है. आप उससे मतलब deduce किया जाता है that how important your role in that. And somewhere maybe in the posters so far we haven't seen your.
You'll see me very soon.
In the posters.
Very soon. Yeah.
Now talking about Spider-Man once again. I'm sure that this question must have been asked to you as well. You must have been disappointed when you saw the final cut of the film.
No, because what happened before the film was released, Mark called me and he was so decent. He told me then what are the scenes which are eliminated and why they were eliminated. It was not like, it was not a surprise for me. And I wasn't expecting too much, from my role. I knew that, I just wanted to have an experience to be, part of a film which is supposed to be so big. So it was not a surprise for me, so there was no disappointment.
But has it got you much more notice in terms of internationally when you're traveling? And
I think Slumdog did it already. So when I went to do in treatment with Gabriel Byrne, he already knew me because of Namesake and because of this Slumdog.
Now, it's also being said, I was reading an article on Guardian, and it's, I think, immediately after the New York Film Festival premiere, that this film has a very good chance in terms of winning an Oscars in both Best Film as well as Best Director. And they had given some very detailed analogies and reasons why they think that this film has a good chance, in fact. Do you think that you think about these things in terms of winning an Oscar for a film like this?
Not right now. I don't allow myself to think like that. But whatever I understood about the Oscar thing, they have a very nice build-up to Oscars, and they start discussing films. And the way they discuss it is very interesting. And the analysis is very interesting. So it does give you a kind of signals, but I'm not really falling into that trap. I just want to see the way it comes. I would definitely celebrate and shout and enjoy when it happens. But right now, I'm not thinking about it.
You've seen that with Slumdog Millionaire already. One more question which comes to my mind, and I think I feel very strongly about it, is that a film like Paan Singh Tomar, I think you've given a remarkable performance over there. And it's an original film, it's an original story, it's a real life story. The way it's presented, I think, is brilliant as well. Since you have a presence in West, if it would have been India's entry to the Oscars, official entry to the Oscars, obviously it would have got more recognition because you're already a known name over there. Somewhere, do you feel disappointed that a film like that is sidelined, and maybe Barfi, which I think almost everyone knows has inspirations from many films, has been put forth as India's entry?
I think whatever departments are run by governments, they have a kind of, they're not serious about their jobs. Film Federation, what they are doing, I don't know. What kind of people are there? Do they have anything to do with films? I don't think they're serious about it. I think it's the filmmakers who will create a reality for Indian cinema, not this federation. They will try to kill. They are just there as a liability. I don't think they are passionate about cinema, or they have a kind of vision about cinema. It's just they do their job with half-heartedly, and I'm really disappointed. Not just because of Paan Singh. I think there should be a strategy. There should be a seriousness. There should be a kind of intention to make your films recognizable outside of your country. And this is an opportunity. If your film travels for Oscar, this is a kind of it's a signal. It creates a market for your industry.
No, absolutely, it's a ready-made product because it has almost everything which maybe in a way West likes to see about India as well. It has like the rural element and the entire the language as well. The entire paradigm, I think it's something which is very West-centric, something which they like to see about India in a way. Maybe by default, good or bad is something which is debatable, but that is something that they'd like to see. And apart from that, maybe sending a film which is I think almost anyone can see the moment you see it that it is inspired from so many films. Maybe it gives a bad name to the Indian film industry as well.
They're not bothered, I think. I think I would have been happy if they would have chosen Rowdy Rathore for that. At least, West would have got kind of entertainment, नाच गाना तो देखते at least, एक entertainment तो होता.